a carpenter is well on his way to keeping a crazy birthday promise he made to his daughter by driving a car that he built out of wood from Peru to New York City in time for her 17th. Back in 2015, when Bienvenido Ortega's daughter Emily was just 13, she made the shock announcement that she didn't want a traditional quinceañera party for her 15th birthday. Instead of the ballroom fiesta, Emily, who lives in the Bronx, said she would prefer it if her father built a car from wood car and drove it all the way from his home in Peru to hers in New York. "I will wait for you," she said. Bienvenido, a master joiner by trade, told Daily Mail. Calm that he returned to his home in Peru and immediately started building a wooden Chevrolet which he completed in 2017. But sadly his first attempt failed when the Chevrolet engine broke down in Colombia later that year in October. He left the car with friends, returned home to Peru to purchase the new parts, but ran into some bureaucratic problems with the Colombian authorities when he tried to return to fix the vehicle. They allowed him just 4 days to get the car up and running, so instead he gifted wooden Chevrolet to his friends and reluctantly gave up on his daughter's birthday dream wish until 6 months later. Share this article. Share in April 2018 he came across a chassis and motor belonging to two separate 1978 Volkswagen models and set about pairing the two underneath a handmade wooden body built to the spec of a 1962 VW model. He chose the VW Beetle because it is relatively small and the engine does not use water. It is less likely to be damaged and is more conventional to fix, he said. Secondly, because I have made several wooden cars and I always wanted to make a Volkswagen for myself, breaking that record of making a round car with many curves. It was not so difficult for me. I found it not so easy, but not so difficult, Bienvenido added. The Dominican man estimated that it took him nearly 8 to 9 months of work, but just on the weekends, since he had a wife and a 5-year-old daughter to take care of, and a baby girl on the way. He built the 1962 body kit using mahina, a medium-weight wood that resembles mahogany and is usually for furniture building in Peru. In place of a 2-door Superbug, Bienvenido chose to include another personal touch by converting it into a 4-door car. Bienvenido said he then layered the wood with varnish because it is waterproof and it is the same coating they use for ship cabins. Instead of furnishing the front and back seats with leather, the Caribbean man went back to his roots and thought of the horse saddles he was so used to seeing back home in the Dominican Republic and made the seats out of a bamboo-like material. Bienvenido finally filled his tank with fuel and hit the road in Lima, Peru, at the end of March for his date with Nelly. The tremendous burden of having to spending all of his life savings on the project has been eased somewhat by the donations of car aficionados along the way who help him with food, lodging and logistics. Bienvenido has now spent nearly 2 months on the road and is currently stuck once again in Colombia after the 4-decade-old engine experienced problems in Cali, where he spent the last 10 days. The president of a local car club in Mexico offered to donate a replacement motor, but Bienvenido opted to repair the worn engine. He expects to have the Volkswagen finally repaired in the next couple of days and hopes to be in Medellin sometime next week. In about 2 weeks' time, the northern city of Monteria will be his final pit stop in South America. There he will pay $20 to board a boat with his car that will take them across to Panama, where he starts his Central American leg of the journey before crossing into Mexico. Bienvenido's goal, knock on wood, is to arrive in the Bronx before or on July 5th, when Nelly turns 17 and celebrate his daughter's 15th birthday, even if he is 2 years late in doing so. After all, he knows cannot fail his daughter, especially after last seeing her 4 years ago. I told her I would travel anywhere or be in any place for the celebration.